Hi, this is George Alger. Welcome to today's segment of Our Ventura TV. Today we're going to be speaking about creating lasting memories for those who are dying. And joining us is the founder and executive director of the nonprofit Life Chronicles, Kate Carter. Welcome, Kate. And what is Life Chronicles?
Thank you, George. Life Chronicles is a nonprofit for the last 27 years. We've been creating videos for people who are either seniors or seriously ill. That means we've recorded 18-month-old babies who are dying with their families, all the way up to 105 years old with their families.
Very good. And what inspired this nonprofit?
At 40, a long time ago, I lost a very close friend of 23 years. And as a result, I went on a search of what I wanted to do for the rest of my life, since the message was clear: we don't know how much time we get. And I started a television internship. And when I finished, all my friends said, "You're really good at this. What are you going to do with it?" I said, "I don't know. I want to do something meaningful. I'm not interested in commercial television." And I didn't know what that was until a couple of years later. A really close friend let me know that she'd been diagnosed with breast cancer, and they told her to get her affairs in order. And I walked around for a couple of days saying, "What can I do?" And then I realized, and I called her and I said, "Terry, I want to sit you in front of a camera, and I want you to tell the children everything you want them to know for the rest of their lives." Her children were 16, 13, and 10. And it was a couple of months later that the light went on that, oh, this is that thing that I could do. And we started the nonprofit the day she died.
Got it. Well, Kate, let's talk about someone who might be in a similar circumstance, and what kind of advice or tips could you give them to accomplish that?
Well, it's difficult to do on your own because we usually bring families together to do this so that we can walk them through very meaningful conversations about what's happening and what's to come, which they've all told us they probably wouldn't have had those conversations, and it's very healing for people. But if someone was going to try to do this themselves, I just encourage them to sit down and talk about their life and what matters to them. It's not so much the details, the dates and times and all that, as much as it is conveying, as much as coming across as who you are. When we do our videos, our mindset is always, we want whoever watches this in the future to feel like they knew this person, whether they knew them or not. Future grandchildren, great-grandchildren, whoever will watch this and feel like they know that person. So I just recommend that people speak from their heart and speak about what matters most to them. And what really matters most to them, to all of us, is the connections between us. It's not our jobs. It's not what we do from 8 to 9 to 5 or whatever. It's not the things that we own. It's the people that we care about. That's what really matters at the end. So we speak about that.
Very good. Are there things that you would suggest a person not talk about, or topics to avoid?
No, not really. I do ask people when we start if there's anything they don't want to talk about. I always let them know I'll never ask them to talk about anything that they don't want to talk about. Doesn't happen very often. I had a 41-year-old Afghanistan veteran Marine who was dying recently, and we were filming him with his 3 little children. When I asked him if he wanted to talk at all about combat, what that experience is like, and he quietly said, "No, I don't." And we moved on from there. But often there are things that are on people's minds that they really want to cover before they're gone. And we don't tell people ahead of time what we're going to talk about, because we don't want people scripting it in their heads, because it becomes very unnatural, not authentic, not spontaneous. So I never know what I'm going to hear. But often I know that what happens is a light goes on at a certain point for someone, and they realize this is an opportunity that they have to speak about something that perhaps they've been holding.
Very good. Any technical points you want to mention?
Well, pretty much the same ones that you suggested to me, George. We try to shoot with natural light. We have professional lighting, but the most flattering light is sunlight. And we try to find a room in the house that has good light, a big picture window perhaps, and they face that window. The cameras have their back to the window. So it becomes like a spotlight, but a natural light on that person. And also, as much as we'd love to film outside, you can't control the environment of motorcycles and helicopters and weed whackers and everything that invariably fire up as soon as the camera gets turned on. So as much as we like outdoors, it's not very, you can't control that. So most often film inside. We do recommend people filming together because we have a study that shows that by filming people together, whoever remains after someone has passed will remember not just the sight and sound of that person, they'll remember what it felt like to be with them. We have a study that gave us that information years ago when we first started. So we encourage people to be on camera together, not to mention eventually anyone we film, and we've literally done 15 family members together sometimes, even though that can be very chaotic, but it can also be really fun and heartwarming. But we realize that someday all of those people will be gone, and there will be people glad to see any one of them in that film.
Yeah. How about after the fact? So speak a little bit about, tips or the process from the filming to coming up with a product that people can view.
Well, our procedure that's worked for us for all these many years, and because we're juggling so many projects at once, is to give the raw footage as quickly as possible to the family so that they have what we did that day, including any interactions that we had. So they have that right away. And sometimes, we filmed a young mother 8 hours before she passed. So sometimes the person we filmed is never going to see that footage because it might happen very quickly. But by sending the raw footage, they have everything. And then when they're ready, which is often not for a long time, we go in and cut out the facilitator. So it's as if they did this without a stranger there. We put in titles in those places where you need to know what the question is or what the subject changed to. We put credits on the front and the back, mostly for contact information, so that whoever comes across this footage later knows how to contact us. And I should say we archive everything. So it's not uncommon for us to get a call from someone and saying, the DVD you gave us years ago isn't working, or the VHS tape you did in the beginning many years ago is not working. Do you still have the footage? And we always have the footage. That's why we keep all the footage. And that way we're able to send it to them. All of our work goes out now in links, private links, so that we can email them the whole project in a link, and they can either watch it on their computer or download, on their phone, or download it onto their computer or watch it on their smart TV.
Very good, Kate. All right, so we're reaching the end here. I'm wondering if you could provide a website that viewers could go to for more information. And do you have a final message for the viewers?
Our website is lifechronicles.org. That .org is very important because we're a nonprofit. If you go to .com, there's someone who's been using our trademark name for many years, but we can't seem to do much about that. So it's important that you go to lifechronicles.org. And what I would say to people is if they're hesitant to do this, sometimes, especially older generations, they feel it's kind of egotistical to have their life recorded like this. But we try to help them understand that this will be very important to future generations. Everyone has a story. I can't tell you how many times I've been amazed at the stories we get that we didn't anticipate. Stories about World War II or the Great Depression, stories that none of us have heard before. And in future, that'll be very important for people to hear how we lived our lives and what we thought about our lives.
Thank you very much, Kate. Well said. So we're going to end off here. This is George Alger signing off for this segment of OurVentura TV. Until we meet again.